Oh, Micah.
18,000 people like him?
Oh, Micah the Truth. Jackson. As our good buddy Johnny Kim would say. The fabulous Johnny Kim.
What does he do? He's like a shirtless.
What does he do? He's like a shirtless.
He is. He's shirtless.
He's shirtless.
And in muscles. Oh, come on.
Oh, my God. I don't know what the deal is with these people and their phones.
What?
Let's try to call him again on Skype here.
Oh, he's a MMA?
He's an MMA guy.
Well, no wonder he's got muscles.
Hopefully he picks up. I would much rather do it on the Skype than I would anywhere else.
What's wrong with Skype?
No, I just like Skype's better sound quality for me.
He looks good.
And we've got Mike Jackson on the phone or on Skype. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, actually. Welcome to our radio broadcast today, and let's give you a little bit of details on Mike Jackson. Mike the Truth Jackson. Check out his website, MikeTheTruth.com, and you can find him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. He holds the distinction of being the first man in the history of, I think, mixed martial arts to why they were getting their hand raised, took a selfie. And
so
I am. That's actually something. That's new to UFC fans, man. I've been doing that for all of my fights.
Well, you are fantastic. I have been following a little bit of what you've been doing leading up to the fight with Mr. CM Punk, Mr. Phil Brooks, and it is definitely you have a style all your own, and you are fantastic. You also do what we do here. You do media as well. How did the media stuff start and then the mixed martial arts, or were you doing mixed martial arts and then you got into media? How did that all go for you?
Nah, it's the latter. I began fighting, and then it just jumped. I just picked up on something that I was good at, and I just merged everything together with the media personality, the photography. I've always been, passionate about. And so
Fantastic.
he posted his macaroni and cheese.
We have Jaybird Wells in studio, and she is social media stalking you as she does most of our guests when we have them on the show. And she's looking at a lot of your social media posts, and also a lot of the ones with you not wearing a shirt, which is always.
It's the cover photo. How can you not miss that?
We've got on the telephone or on Skype audio today Mike the Truth Jackson. He comes off a big win over CM Punk.
I
last
call
week.
it the Truth Food Tour. I get to travel around the country, whether I'm fighting or whether I'm working for promotions. And food is my favorite, and so...
Okay, that explains the food.
Say?
That explains the food pictures.
Yeah, so what I like to do is people always ask me, what am I eating and where am I going and things like that. And so that was really the catalyst for it as far as the Truth Food Tour. Eventually, probably here in the next few months, I'm going to expand it a little bit and bring people probably like a 2 or 3 minute, little short video documenting the journey and documenting the food that I've eaten. Yeah, that's really how it started, and people love it, man. People love to see what I'm eating.
Okay, stop in Kansas City or Wichita and take me to eat.
Kansas City. Actually, I think I'm gonna be out there for a jiu-jitsu super fight.
Jiggy, you got to take me.
That is awesome. We might.
See, I haven't been there, so I don't really know what's popping. So you're gonna have to tell me what's good out there, and we're gonna make it happen.
Well, we're gonna have to explore together because I don't know what's good out there either.
Well,
hey, I'm ready to do that too.
Well, as soon as we're done with the interview today, I will send when I send you a copy of the show. I will find out when you're going to be in the area, and we'll all get together. That would be kind of cool.
For sure.
We've got Mike the Truth Jackson joining us today on Skype audio, and last week he came off a big win over CM Punk at the UFC event, and
give us details.
What
Well, him. Give us details. Mike, what did you do?
What kind of details are you looking for?
Well, like, did you start out good with the battle, or did you have some scary moments where you thought you were going to lose?
Not at all. Nah,
you were confident the whole time?
I was confident 100%, even before the fight. I told people what it was going to be, and people, I have a background in combat sports. I'm 4-0 with 4 knockouts in boxing. I'm 1-0 with the knockout win in kickboxing. And this guy, Phil Brooks, and all the respect to him, I have 100% respect for any man that's willing to step into that cage or ring to compete. But he's coming into this sport with no combat sports experience, with limited training as well. And people thought that, we both lost our pro to MMA debuts, to Mickey Gall. But Mickey Gall is a talented fighter. He's a high-level brown belt, and so people equated us, based off of that one fight between us, And I was like, look, I don't think y'all understand that there's levels to this sport, and this guy isn't on my level. Like, I'm a professional, and he's an amateur. And people laughed at me.
God, he's not even. Brother, I hate to cut you off, but he's and I love this because I'm a big CM Punk mark. But my God, he's not even an amateur.
Now, you know what?
Now, notice the big mouth witty broad is keeping quiet, so he doesn't block me on Facebook.
Here's the thing. Like, I've been around this sport for a decade, and I've seen the lowest of the lows, and I've seen the peak performers. And I guarantee you, CM Punk is not the lowest. I mean, he's toward the amateur level, of course, but I've seen worse than him.
Well, okay,
so, and that's even given the short period of time that he's trained.
Well,
and I have all the respect for the guy.
And see that. No, I'm not saying I don't ever. I've got a hell of a lot of respect for Punk because I'll tell you, putting the time in and putting the effort in that he's put in, absolutely amazing. You're a media guy. You've been around MMA. You've been in the sport of MMA for 10 years. I have been talking to various folks since this CM Punk thing, and we were getting ready to book you on the radio show, and I was talking to various people that I know that seen the fight or follow your career or what have you. And we always get into this conversation, and I wanted to chat with you today about this. And being a media guy, I want to get your perspective on this. By the way, we're talking with Mike the Truth Jackson on Skype today. Jay Birdwell's in studio, and a little bit later on we will talk to No Longer Human on Skype, and Dark on the Doorstep will be here, and all sorts of stuff. But here's the deal. When Punk got into the UFC, when he signed the big deal with UFC, oh my God, CM Punk's coming in. I think they thought they were getting something like they got with Brock Lesnar, where Brock Lesnar...
No, they didn't.
Really?
I'll stop you right there. No. Look, here's the thing. Brock Lesnar has a collegiate wrestling career.
Oh, son of a bitch, he's the man. Off of...
I feel so. I think so, just off of, I guess, my personality or whatever, but at the same time, the internet trolls are coming out in droves.
Oh, good God!
We won't get started on the trolls.
I'm a big pro wrestling guy. I've been around the pro wrestling marks. I've all these different things, but I'll tell you, MMA marks, man, are a completely different breed, brother. Oh my God!
They're different for sure, for sure. But they all have their special places in this world.
Yes, yes. And they're all paying customers. So,
from what I've been introduced into the world, I think I still like MMA above wrestling.
Well,
I'm getting back into the wrestling scene because now I understand what it is and I understand what it's meant to be. It's basically, in my eyes, it's basically a live action cartoon. And that's how I look at it.
I've been saying that for 20 years.
You're not wrong, Mike. You're not wrong.
So once I started looking at it from that kind of point of view, I was like, it's cooler. I dig it. I like what they're doing.
Now you do realize the haters are gonna hate and start there and make fun of and troll that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, they're going to do all sorts of different things. We've got Mike Jackson with us today. He is just come off a win over CM Punk on UFC. Mike is apparently going to be in the Kansas City area apparently very soon doing a jiu-jitsu super fight, which will be very interesting.
I want to see the fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him out there. So I'm actually coming back from Lake Charles, Louisiana right now, headed back home. I get a week off. Well, not really a week off, but next weekend I'll be in Beaumont for a Legacy Fighting Alliance. But then I'm back on the road. Well, I'll be on Truth Jet. I'll headed out to Nashville, Tennessee for a jiu-jitsu super fight as well.
Hey, I'll tell you, they always talk in indie pro wrestling. They always talk about making towns. I always wondered if they make towns in MMA and the world of jiu-jitsu. Right there, Mike Jackson, they make towns. He's going Beaumont. He's going. They're making towns and doing the drives, as they say. Now,
I like that.
Now you have a very, very interesting background just before you got into this whole thing. Tell us how you got started doing MMA, jiu-jitsu, all this stuff.
Man, for me, I come from a well-off family. I'm supposed to go to school, get a great job. But as a kid, I wanted to compete in karate and boxing, but my mother wouldn't let me. For me, it was all about, team sports. I did basketball, football, tennis, baseball. I did all these sports when I was a kid, but never could compete as far as combat sports. And then I was in college, and I was at Texas A&M for a little bit. And basically, fighting fell in my lap.
Yes.
And I really stuck with it. It was something that I wanted to do and pursue. And I never thought I would. Well, I knew I could make a career out of the fighting industry, but I never knew it would. I never thought it would lead to the UFC. That was never a goal of mine. And then, like I said, the media personality, all of that kind of just came out and brought itself together. And again, that's how I make my living now. That's this is my career. It revolves around fighting, whether I'm in the cage or whether I'm outside taking pictures. This is my life, and I love it 100%.
We've got Mike the Truth Jackson joining us on Skype audio today, and he has just come off a big win over CM Punk UFC last weekend. I watching the lead up and the build up to this. Was the Phil Brooks thing that you kept referring to him as Phil? Was that like a Liston Ali thing from back in the day?
No, that for me, that was just it was me projecting that into people's minds.
Okay.
A lot of people, they got caught up in the whole CM Punk thing. Then like I'm fighting this former world champion.
Yes.
And so what I went out there and did is basically I took that sort of superpower away from him.
Yes.
I caught up in the hype, and that was all strategic. I did that on purpose, and months later, I realized that when people were interviewing me, they were even calling him Phil. Like they weren't calling him CM Punk. So the marketing work. That's what I do, man. I'm a businessman. And I know how to make, as far as the strategic goes.
That's awesome. So it was all marketing, as they say.
That's what this whole fight was.
Well, yeah, that's the.
When I cut the promos and I had the Instagram post with the Money in the Bank briefcase, all of these things like that I was doing. It was all strategic marketing.
I've got a question before I get taken over by all the testosterone in the room.
Yes, go.
You sit there and said that you taste food and you have a love for food. How do you sit there and separate the food from the MMA? Because don't you have to stay a same weight?
Well, I fight up at 170, which for me, it's more size. So I don't really. Like I woke up the morning of weigh-ins. I woke up about 2.5 pounds away, and that whole week, like when I got there on Tuesday, I was eating steak and shrimp, steak and like spinach and all kinds of things. I was having curry and gyros and stuff like that. but it's all about just eating the right foods. You know, when I'm fighting and getting ready for training and things like that, I typically stay away from the fried foods. But other than that, everything is game.
We've got Mike the Truth Jackson joining us today on Skype audio, and we are about wrapping up our first hour here on our big broadcast. We have 2 more hours to go. We're going to be talking with No Longer Human. They are going to call us on the telephone, and Darken the Doorstep is going to be with us in studio, and I, of course, will probably rant about some local pro wrestling stuff. And we were supposed to have porn star Kelly Cabana on today, but she, her press people got a hold of me, and they're like, we can't find her. So I don't know what's happened to Kelly Cabana. But we did find Mike the Truth Jackson off his win over Mr. CM Punk last week at UFC. And Mike was detailing all his different fights and jiu-jitsu tournaments and things he's got coming up. So with this UFC win, how many offers have you been getting for fights, and how much has that phone been ringing off the hook, brother?
You know, as far as fights go, you know, it is what it is. You know, as far as what's next, you know, for me, I don't have to fight.
Yeah, and websites and everything.
You know, my social media is all at the Truth Jackson. It's on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. You know, basically, it's a window through my life and, you know, what I go through, whether it be training, whether it be food. I shoot for less shows. So I mean, who doesn't like naked women, right?
There you go.
You know, so
including Jay Birdwell. She likes naked women, but so
I do all of that. Then, of course, I have it's called the Truth About Stuff podcast, which is on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all those other platforms.
Awesome.
And, of course, MikeTheTruth.com/podcast. But, you know, like I said, it's just a window into what's going on in my life. You know, when I'm out, you know, I'm a homebody, so a lot of times I'm just hanging out of the house.
Just hanging and banging at the house, man. Hey, might as well.
Yeah, you know. And then when I hit these streets, man, you know, I like to have fun. So I like to give a window into that fun.
Well, one of our listeners and one of your biggest fans here in Kansas wanted me to send you a shout out. Big Will out of Wichita, Kansas.
Shout out to Big Will.
Big Will says he's a huge fan. He says, "Tell Mike I said that." He said, "I'm the one that was worrying on his Facebook wall and thanking him. And then when he won, I was writing him and thanking him and telling him for beating the Twitter blocking pussy up. Good old CM Punk." So
that sounds like Big Will.
Big Will's a huge fan of yours, so I just had to pass that along to you, Mike.
Shout out to Big Will. I appreciate it.
But I guess before we let you go, the website's up and running. You're going to continue doing your thing. I'm going to shoot you an email when we get this interview put together and up online, and we'll work out the Kansas City thing, because I would love to see you when you're in the Kansas City area. I'd love to come to that fight, man.
I want to see him test food.
You want to see him taste food?
We're going out and have some good food, I promise you.
Nothing stocky sexual about it. I just want to see his opinion.
That's all. Look, and I'm cool with it. That's what I'm here for, to share my opinions with the world.
There you go. Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for spending as much time as you did with us, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you, brother.
Sounds good. Yeah, have a good one.
Appreciate it, man. There goes Mike the Truth Jackson off the old Skype line, and we are going to take a little bit of a break here, and 60-second timeout, as they say, in the radio business. And when we come back, we are going to, I don't know, should I do my rant now or should I do my rant later? I don't know. John's here, so I can rant.
Yes.
But I can't put him on camera because he won't be associated with my rant. But then we've got, of course, our good buddy Mr. Michael Nagy has joined us. He is going to be jumping on the last train to Clarksville. And no, he's going to New Jersey.
The Iron Curtain.
The Iron Curtain, as Jed likes to call it. Now we're going to be talking to Darken the Doorstep here in a few as well. And you know what's ironic? They've darkened our doorstep. It's amazing today. I'm sure they've heard that a billion times and are about freaking sick of it. I apologize.
It was perfect.
and we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have more.
Okay,
and
nice.
it is the big broadcast.
Nice,
we are
Tom.
making things happen today, and we got more coming up here in just a few.
Posting to your social media accounts becoming time-consuming? Check out CyberPro's